Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Thank you very much for joining me. Our patient is another b2600 Mazda. It has been worked on before. We have a little bridge over here. Most of the conformal coating is removed. Actually, the absolute majority. There's only some little specks of conformal coating left over here and there. Right, so I might brush it again just to remove some of that gunk over here. It's not a problem. The only issue with that is that it's covering the components, so you can see potential, corrosion like here and here and here, and that's our main problem over here on this one. So it has been repaired. As you can see, the caps has been replaced. Let's see. So, oh, that doesn't look too good, but it's mainly just vias from what I see. So the cap, is the cap correct? Let's remove it from the circuit. So one thing that you should not do, it's maybe not a huge problem, but capacitors, the leads of the capacitors should always be as short as possible. That's why all the capacitors always are sitting on the board. Now, this is not true for all capacitors, but especially for electrolytic capacitors, you want them to be as close to the board as possible. And the simple reason for that is that those leads are also causing some capacitance and stuff. So what is that? That is 63 volts instead of 50. This should be 50 or 25, I don't remember. I think 50. I think I usually put 50. But 47 mics, that's correct, and this one is probably the exact same. And also has a little bit of like damage to the board underneath. I'm not sure what's up with that. Let's see what the meter is gonna say. Okay, it did detect capacitance. 830 ESR. It's a little high. It's actually significantly high, but not huge. And 0.5% of V loss, and we're registering 45, almost 45 mics, and it took forever to measure. It also doesn't look that great. I'm not sure why. Like this top over here is, I'm not sure what that is. But we're gonna replace these and we're gonna restore the vias. Now with vias restoration, there are few methods that I've seen people use, and I've seen people use a wire to just dip the wire in and remove the wire, right, to basically clean the via. But I don't think you need to do that, especially if you have a good, relatively aggressive flux. By aggressive, I don't mean like something super acidic, but there's got to be some acidity to the flux. So what we're going to use is omega 559, and that's upside down. The link to the flux is in the description. It's $10.99 per 10 cc's, so pretty good price. It's competitive to Amtech. There's still some conformal coating over here. I don't want to keep it in the ultrasonic cleaner for too long. Actually, what I do is I just put it in the cleaner for a little bit, and then I just use the tweezers like this to remove the. And that serves two purposes, essentially. Number one, you're minimizing the damage to the board or components on stuff or stuff on the board from the ultrasonic cleaner. Yes, it can happen. And number two, you're saving the liquid a little bit, because depending what you use it for, but I also use it for motherboards, of course. So if those large chunks of conformal coating start floating in my liquid, in my ultrasonic cleaner, if I then put the board after CPU socket replacement, then those little particles, they can get stuck in the socket, which is a problem. I mean, it does dissolve in alcohol essentially, but not to complete liquid, and you would have to use a lot of alcohol to dissolve the conformal coating completely. So it's a problem. Usually when that happens, it doesn't happen that much, nowadays, because I do this, and also I filter the liquid in the ultrasonic cleaner from time to time. And of course, from time to time, you have to replace it because it loses its properties. But when that happens, usually you can just remove it with tweezers, but not always. And if the socket right after the replacement, you start using tweezers next to it, there's always a risk that you're gonna bend some pins and stuff like that, and then you have to replace the socket again. So, not ideal. Alrighty, I think we're ready. Plenty of vias. So the way I reflow those vias, I just put some flux inside, right? Then a little bit of solder, and I heat it up for the solder to flow all the way through the via to the other side. That requires some temperature. It requires a little bit of time to heat it up properly, but it works great. And then afterwards, obviously beep through it to make sure the connection is there. If it isn't, because in some cases the via is so corroded that you do need to run a wire from one side to the other side. But hopefully this one will not require it. All right, let's get to it. Alrighty, we are done. Nice and shiny, that's how we like them. It's actually very important to seal it for these if you want it to work for longer than weeks or months. I've seen one video of from many years ago, the guy working on this particular ECM. And so what he used was MTEG flux. Basically, he put like the whole tube of flux on the board and just heated it up so the flux solidifies and makes this protective layer. I mean, you could do that as well, I guess, but I would say why bother if we have proper chemicals that are designed specifically for that. Good flux is more important for the actual soldering, not protecting the board, And this one, I actually had some issues reproducing my formula, but I figured it out. It's kind of an issue with this whole thing, because, you know, there's not much chemistry to this flux. Ingredients are simple, that's why it's, you know, organic or natural, because the ingredients are pretty much over-the-counter, you know, ingredients. Some of them you can just find in the grocery store. So it's not like it's a complex chemical process or chemical formula, but the process of actually making it is surprisingly pretty hard. What is this? The screw is damaged. So I had few issues reproducing it, but I think I got it. The only difference that you would see in the flux is the viscosity, essentially, right? You don't want it to be too thick, you don't want it to be too runny, all right? And sometimes it'll come out too thick, in which case there's pretty much nothing you can do with that. It's a wasted batch. Or it's too runny. If it's too runny, it's actually not too bad, because you can save the batch. But as they always say, the devil is in the details. Those little tiny details on how you know, how long do you mix, what speed, at what speed do you mix it, you know, how long before you add ingredients and all that kind of stuff. Ambient temperature, I guess, is also important, but since now I do it in the garage, the ambient temperature is pretty low, because now we are in the winter season, I guess, which typically it comes around February around here, but we're down to like 30s, so it's actually freezing, right? There's no snow or anything, it's nice and sunny, but it's cold AF. Anyways, the ECM is done. Now let's ship it back, because we had a delay due to Thanksgiving, obviously. So happy late Thanksgiving, everybody, if you celebrate it, if you're in the US, or maybe you have your equivalent, like November 11th is the Polish Independence Day. So happy Independence Day as well, also late. Alrighty, thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate you, and I shall see you guys in the next one.